Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me today. Happy New Year to you all and happy new catalogue day eve. Okay, so tomorrow we've got a new mini catalogue launching from Stampin Up. This is it. I can't show you the inside yet, it's not live yet, but if you really want a paper copy of this, then let me know. I can post one out to you. But today we're going to give you a bit of a sneak peek of just a little bit of what's to come in this catalogue. Okay, so a bit of a hints of the contents all on the front page there, but like I say, I can't show you the inside of that yet, but what I can show you is something you can make with one of the new stamp bundles. This is part of a larger suite which you'll see in due course, and this is called Blessings of Home. Coordinating dies here to cut out these large images and some lovely extra foliage pieces, which is called Flowers of Home. That's the die set there. So we're going to use this today. Lovely sentiments in there too for a variety of occasions and just general stuff. Okay, so I'm going with the thank you sentiment for my card today, and this nice little sprig there. Let me just pop that to one side on my desk that's covered in things. This is the card we're going to make. So what I've done is used a very neutral palette for the card base, but brought in my Stampin' blends there to colour the flower, which are in the sort of subtle family. So we've got Mint Macaron and Flirty Flamingo, as it happens, in there. Flirty Flamingos are bright though, I think, but paler colours. And then I've brought in Melon Mambo for that punch of colour on the sentiment. Okay, and then I've got one of these lovely square vellum doilies on the back, which I think is really nice just to lift the background. It just gives some interest without necessarily introducing another stamp set. So this is what we're going to make. I'm going to pop that to one side there. Now, as always, I try and give you some other serving suggestions for the colours you can use. So some basic white is there to stamp on, and I'm switching out the card base to Crumb Cake. This is Sahara Sand. Sticking with Very Vanilla for the panel here, but I'm going to bring in Night of Navy as my layering neutral there. On this one I just used basic black. Okay. The layers are what I call my mini layers. So we've got the vanilla in 3 inches by 4 3/4, and the Night of Navy is 3 1/8. 3 1/8 by 4 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so that's the layering we've got on there. So first thing to do then is to get some stamping done. So like I say, this is just a piece of basic white, which I'm going to use my Memento. I've pressed a little too hard on that, I think, but let's just see how that turns out. This is an E block that I'm using here, and because I'm colouring in Stampin' blends, I want to use a water-based ink. Okay, and so I was a bit heavy-handed with the ink pad there. I've re-inked this, so it's just a little bit on the wet side. So I'm going to just stamp that again. And just there we go. That's better. Okay, just a little bit overzealous there with my freshly inked ink pad. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to squeeze the sentiment in here, and I'm going to use Pacific Point. So I'm going to switch to sort of a blue theme for the flowers and the sentiment. So I used Melon Mambo on the original as my pop of colour, and I'm using Pacific Point as my pop of colour on this version. Okay. So that's going to dry while we do all our colouring on here. So sticking with mint macaron, so just bringing in the light and dark markers. So I start with the dark, and on the stamp set, or in the stamp I should say, the artist has given us these little sort of spots and dots that indicate some shade. So I'm just going to go over those particular portions with the dark marker as my shadows, using the bullet tip because these areas are quite small. I'm just going to work my way around the image, colouring in all those little areas, or going over those little areas, if I should say, that I've got those little sort of spots in, like so. So we don't have to think too hard about this colouring, we can just enjoy it. Just go round, adding that colour in. And when you think you've got them all, which I think I have, I'm going to go back in and use the light marker to shade the rest of those leaves in. Bringing it in. So you may not see the blend happen straight away, but it will happen over time. Just while those inks will start to merge together and mix, and you'll find that the colour changes slightly as they dry as well, so this will turn out a little paler. And if you feel like you want to add a bit more of the dark afterwards, just to intensify that a bit, you can do. It's entirely up to you. There we are. So that's the leaves done. Very, very simple colouring. No faffing about. Just very, really, really simple. With the little flowers, I'm going to go. I'm going to do the smaller ones that haven't sort of come to full bloom yet. I'm going to go a little darker with these. So what I find is that your bullet tip's going to give you slightly darker colour than your brush nibs. So again, I'm looking at those little spots in and around the petals on these smaller flowers. This is the dark marker. I'm going to switch to the brush end, which is just a little lighter, and fill those back in. And if you feel you need to add some more dark in once that's dry, we can do. We'll do the same with the larger flowers, switching to the light marker, but using that bullet tip to add our colour, dark sort of shade in. You can see I'm not being super precise with this at all. I'm literally scribbling over those dotted bits in the artwork, and that is absolutely it. It really doesn't have to be a super complicated process. Of course, if you're into colouring in a big way and you have the time and you want to do that layering of colour and adding lots of shade, of course you can. But today I just want to show you that you can do this in a very simple way and still get really nice results. Okay, so I'm going to go back in the dark there now, just intensify some bits and pieces. I might just put a bit of the dark in here. I'm literally just scribbling over the top and just putting some bits and pieces here and there. It really not thinking about it too much at all. Okay, there you go. It's nice and subtle, isn't it? Beautiful, beautiful. So there's a coordinating die for this, which is, just popped it to one side, didn't I? Which is daft of me. So I'm just going to pull that off the carrier sheet. So if you've never used a die before, you'll see that there's a raised edge. This is your cutting edge. So that's the one that's going to press down into the paper. So we're just going to use a couple of pieces of low tack tape. So cutting blade, blade, I say blade, but the raised portion, the cutting part, goes down. I'm just going to secure it at the bottom and the top there. And the sentiment we're going to cut with one of our stitched rectangles, and if there's room I'm going to do them both together, so we can just roll that through once. So what you never want to do is have dies overlapping each other. Okay, so there's a gap there which we can work with, so that's fantastic. All right, so they're going to go through together on the cutting in the cut and emboss base platform, thin die plate, and then a bottom cutting plate. You can see I've well used that one. It's got loads of cut marks into it. We're going to cut down into this, so that's going to sit on top of our machine. We're going to put our dies and our cardstock on top of that, and then I've got a sort of cleaner version of the number 3 plate to put on top, and then we just roll that through with the handle. And the pressure of the machine pushes that raised edge that we saw on that die and cuts out our image absolutely beautifully. And on this particular die here, we've also got the stitching, which gives us a really nice additional cute effect as well. So there we go, there's our little bits and pieces. So all we have to do now is put some stuff together. I like to use Stampin' Seal because it's quick and easy to use to do my layering. If you've got wet glue or whatever you prefer, whatever your preference is for adhesive, you go ahead and use that. And then put that on our card base. So that's our Night of Navy and Very Vanilla going onto our crumb cake card base. I don't know why I do it sideways. I think it's because it's a smaller distance for me to eyeball. I think it just looks neater. So that's how we're going to do that. The next thing to put on is our lovely vellum doily. These are absolutely ace. I think you get 24 in a pack, so they're really good value. And it's going to go on the wonk somewhere like that. So I'm just going to put a bit of tape on there and position that somewhere there. Don't you just love the precision that I have with these things? I think if you can make things too difficult, it just becomes, I don't know, an effort to make. A couple of dimensionals are going on that sentiment, but just off to the left a little bit, because I'm going to have it overhanging, so I want that to make contact with this base card here. So it's going to go somewhere there, okay, overlapping the borders of the layers there, which I think always looks very attractive. It sort of draws your eye into it. But we're having to, that's going to have to stick through that vellum as well. So a little bit of wet glue over the top of that will help seep through and make sufficient contact with the base card. So just a couple of seconds on there, and then of course we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of our floral element as well. Don't need to go overboard, just sort of top, middle and bottom should do it. Again, we'll just add a little dab of the wet glue over the top just to help that seep through. And I'm just going to use this lovely little notch in those leaves to sort of curl around that T on the thank you. Just press those dimensionals down just for a couple of seconds, just to help them take hold. And the only thing I'm going to add to that is just a little touch of Wink of Stella, if I can find where I put the pen. Okay, where has that gone? It is hiding from me. Here it is behind my pair of scissors in my little tool caddy. So this will add some glitter and shimmer, but I'm only adding it to those sort of darker portions on the flower, not all over the place, just so that there's a hint of something on there. I'm not going to add any extra embellishments or anything, I'm just going to leave it as that. And that is my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope that you're excited to see more of the new products that are coming through. Just a quick reminder, this one is called, oops, let's just move that, Blessings of Home. Cling Around stamp set with coordinating dies, Flowers of Home. Okay, more to come, of course. Do stop by again, we'll have some more cards for you. Okay, in the meantime, take care, stay safe out there. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.